My YouTube videos continue to attract hate. Today, a woman who comments under the cool handle Mrs. Whiskey chided me for selling Amway's good name and going to lengths to defend their honor by saying that Amway has been listed as one of the top 5 businesses by Forbes magazine. I reminded her that once upon a time, Enron also made that list. Then I told Mrs. Whiskey that I hope her husband, Mr. Whiskey, beats her, and I do. I hope he beats her with a belt in front of her children every Christmas morning. Oh, and I also called her an ignorant cunt. One of my favorite aspects of being in a fuel crisis is when I am standing in line at the gas station behind some furious asshole who drives an obnoxiously enormous Ford truck with an Earth First bumper sticker, who has the audacity to yell at the minimum wage cubicle jockey for the sudden rise in the cost of fuel, as if to imply that the teen raised the price on their way onto their shift and are going to pocket the difference. Yeah. Yell at the kid working the cash register inside of the plastic cage. Yeah. Give them shit. Because their life doesn't suck enough already. The executives that make these decisions are pillars of the community, but the minions that sling their wares are criminals. Fun fact, capitalism is a pyramid scheme. When you confront one of these self-righteous pricks, they all have the same defense. You don't expect me just to take it, do you? Yes, if the options are accepting the rising cost of a finite resource or venting on someone who isn't legally allowed to vote or drink alcohol, then yes, I am suggesting that you take it. Or get on a bike, asshole, and start peddling off some of those Rachel Ray quick meal solutions. Asshole. Another gift from the petroleum people over the past few years is that they helped me abandon all conspiracy theories. Like most bookworms, I used to harbor nefarious, complicated schemes that I thought governments and corporations had in play. But the oil spill that British Petroleum had in the Gulf of Mexico that started in April 2010 and continued until September, when the government declared the well, quote, effectively dead. It depleted enough crude oil that eventually the well depleted enough pressure, and they just sealed it by dumping enough cement onto the hole they could have rebuilt Detroit twice. But what robbed me of my former paranoia were the attempts in between to seal the hole. Because you have to remember, this was British Petroleum. British Petroleum were the brass ring, okay? They were important people making tons of money. They had every possible form of influence that a corporation could want. When the explosion struck and they began to lose millions of gallons of crude oil, their first plan was to drop that Devo hat-looking contraption on top of it, and they missed the hole. I thought I was watching a badly thought-out rerun of Jackass. I kept expecting to see Johnny Knoxville to come water skiing across the Mississippi Delta, but this was a legitimate effort by an incredibly successful corporation. Next, they tried the underwater garbage cannon, and when it failed, it was just as ridiculous as the time it was when they tried it on the Dukes of Hazzard when I was a child. During the confusing days that ensued, a revelation came over me that these people who run this company do not know what the fuck they're doing. They're making it up as they go along. They're not brilliant, evil masterminds that expose and exploit human weakness. They are human weakness. Just like my bank's money market mutual fund retirement plan that keeps losing money. Just like my clueless parents that work their fingers to the bone for decades just to drop dead penniless. None of these people know what the fuck they're doing. They're doing the best they can with the opportunities that they're given, and they're failing at most things they do. I read today on a movie website that the film Priest was a big disappointment to its backers by only making 20-something million after being in theaters for 3 weeks and costing the backers in excess of $60 million. I almost felt sorry for the leading man of the film, Paul Bettany, until I remembered that he is married to Jennifer Connelly. She's so cute. She's actually more beautiful now than she has ever been, which is weird because so many women peak near 30 and then they become distinguished or striking, but Connelly is one of the few that has actually become more attractive than she ever was, which is great for Paul Bettany, I guess. You know, they had a kid together, so she must still be attracted to him, or else she's an incredibly sound sleeper and he's hung like a church mouse, which is how I want to figure how it went down. I don't want to think that he gets to fuck Jennifer Connelly and he's got a huge dick. I've enjoyed Connelly ever since seeing Labyrinth as a tweenie bopper, and have enjoyed her work ever since. Even the nightmarish Requiem for a Dream, ass to ass. I haven't been that traumatized by sexually explicit material since raiding my uncle's porn stash when I stayed with him for a week in my 13th year and coming across his collection of hermaphroditic features. Chicks with dicks that put mine to shame. Yeah. So that happened.